yes, this is the second lesson, and I hope you've been practicing the song that we did last week, My Hero by the Foo Fighters. I'm changing the angle a little bit so you can see the guitar a bit better. Yeah, let's see if this works for today, and then I don't know, if you want to see my face more, then I guess you can just let me know, and then I'll do that for the next video. But anyway, today we're going to talk about octave chords. Okay, so what an octave is basically a note that is, for example, a G note and another G note, a higher version of the G note played together. Okay, and when you play those two notes together, you get something like a kind of a chord, which is called an octave chord. Alright, so we're gonna apply this octave shape for the next few songs. This song plus another 2 or 3 more songs, right? And we'll get to practice this shape. Now, in order to use this shape, we're going to have to start to memorize the names of the notes on the 3rd and 4th strings. Okay, so last week we've already memorized the names of the notes on the 5th and 6th. Okay, so you should already know where all your sharp notes are. Okay, so your F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Alright, these are all notes from last week. A sharp over here, C sharp, D sharp on the 6th fret of the 5th string. Okay, so today let's look at the 3rd and 4th strings of the guitar. Okay, so on the 4th string, okay, when you tune the guitar, if you've been using a tuner, you'll realize that there's always the D note, the open string. Okay, the D note. Followed by, alright, so we're just gonna learn all the names of the natural notes first. So we got D on the open string, followed by E. Okay, so you can look at the diagram on the bottom left as well. Okay, on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, that's the E. On the 3rd fret, that's the F. And on the 5th fret, that's the G. And on the 7th fret, it's the A. Alright, so we're just going to learn up till A first. Just try to memorize that. So we got D, E, F, G, and A on the 4th string. So memorize that first. Alright, you can pause the video and just kind of let it sink in. And then we're going to move on to the 3rd string. So on the 3rd string, we have these few notes. We have the G. Okay, the 3rd string, the G open string. And we have the A note on the 2nd fret. Okay, followed by the B note is on the 4th fret. Okay, the C note is on the 5th fret. And the D note is on the 7th fret. Alright, so G, A, B, G, A, B, C, and D. Okay, so D, E, F, G, A on the 4th string, and G, A, B, C, D on the bottom string. Alright, and now these notes are important to know, so stop the video if you need to memorize it. Alright, if it's a little bit complicated, then just spend some time trying to memorize them. I know it can get a bit confusing because we already know the notes on the top 2 strings. Okay, so try your best. But for now, let's move on to the shape of the octave chord. So now the reason why we want to know the names of the notes on the 3 and 4 strings is because the name of the octave will depend on whatever fret the pointer finger is on when it's on the 3rd or 4th string. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down on the tab here, on the tab here. So I'm just gonna write down on the tab here the 1 octave chord. Okay, and this will be the E octave. So it will be 2 on the 4th string, and on the 2nd string will be a 5. Okay, so a 2 and a 5, and I'm going to put an X on the 3rd string as well as an X on the 1st string. Alright, so how would you play that on the guitar? On the 4th string you press the 2, and on the 2nd string you press the 5 with your pinky. So for these kind of chords on the 4th and 3rd frets, okay, you're gonna have to use the pointer and your pinky. These are the only 2 fingers that you'll have to use. You don't have to use anything else. Okay, and the X means that you don't have to strum that string. So how do you not strum that string? Okay, you can cheat by just touching a little bit of the string with your fingers. So for example, my pointer finger is pressing the 4th string, but it's also touching, okay, the bottom part of my pointer finger is touching the 3rd string. So when I play the 4th string, I get the sound, but when I play the 3rd string, I get a muted sound. Okay, and it's the same with my pinky. Okay, so if you look at the tab, my pinky is supposed to press the 5th fret of the 2nd string. Okay, but it's also touching the 1st string, but I'm not pressing anything. So I get a muted sound on the 1st string, and I get a full sound on the 2nd string. Okay, remember to press with your fingertip, and you just strum all the strings this way, and you get an octave chord. So that is an E octave. Okay, so I'm going to write down another octave shape, which is the F octave. So F octave, if you look at the diagram the tabs on the left side, F octave is by we're going to do the F octave by pressing the 3rd fret on the 4th string and the 6th fret on the 2nd string. Okay, so what you'll notice is that the shape is exactly the same. This is a movable chord shape. Okay, that means you can apply the same shape and just move it around. So from here you get E octave. Okay, and the reason why this is called the E octave is because this note, the one that we're pressing just now, we just learned the note on the 4th string, the 2nd fret, that's the E note. Right, so this is the E octave. And if we move this entire shape as a whole, just move your hand to the next 2 frets. Okay, keep the shape the same, you get the F octave. Okay, so now what happens if we move 1 fret up higher? So from the last lesson we learned that after F there is an F sharp. So this 4th fret here, this is the F sharp. Okay, so on the tabs I'm just going to put 4 and 7 and an X and an X. Okay, so 4 and 7, this is an F sharp octave. And I can move on 1 more fret, 5, X, 8, and X. So this is a G octave. Okay, so for practice you can just try what's written on the tabs there from the E octave. Okay, remember your hand shape always keep the same. It's the same as the power chords, right? These are movable chord shapes. That means you can use the same shape and just move your hand together. So okay, let's go back to that first chord. 2 and 5. 2 and 5. And we're gonna play. Okay, so that's the E octave, and we move up by 1 fret. That's the F octave, and we move up 1 more. F sharp octave, and 1 more. The G octave. So on your own, go all the way up to the 8th fret. So you can just move up, and remember you want to mute the 3rd and 1st strings. Okay, those strings shouldn't be ringing, so use the bottom part of your pointer and your pinky to just touch those strings, mute them. Okay, and the 8. Alright, so pause the video and just practice this on your own for about 3 minutes. Just move around. Okay, and if you look at the tabs right now, sometimes the octave chord is written as this with the X, but sometimes it's not written. In fact, most times the X is not written. So for example, it will just be written like this: 5 and 8. 5 and 8. Okay, and you have to be able to know that if you see this kind of pattern, okay, it's understood that you have to mute those 2 strings to play the chord. Okay, so these are octaves on the 4th string. Okay, 4th string, because the name of the octave depends on what note the pointer finger is on. Okay, the same shape can also be moved down 1 string. Okay, it's the same as power chords. You know, when we learn power chords, we can move the shape down by 1 string. Okay, it's the same for octaves. So from here, we just learn the E. Okay, so that's the E. Because I'm just going to write down this chord now again. So 2 and 5. So this is the E octave. I'll just put the name there. And now, if I move the shape down by 1 string, okay, what is the name of this note? Okay, we just learned just now, we were going through the names of the notes. This is the A note. Okay, so the name of this octave is the A octave chord. Okay, and on tabs it will be written as this: 2 and 5. Okay, you gotta be careful not to strum those extra strings. So what can you do to prevent your prevent the sound from coming out? You can use your pointer finger to just kind of touch the string on top and touch a little bit of the bottom. So you see my pointer finger is pressing with just more of this part of the finger. See the line here? It's kind of just over here. Okay, and the top part of the string is muting the 4th string, and the bottom part of the finger is muting the 2nd string. So if I play the 4th string, I'm not getting any sound. If I'm playing the 2nd string, I'm not really getting any sound. But if I'm playing the 3rd string, I get a clear sound. So try to practice and adjust your fingers so you can get that kind of sound. And then your pinky just goes to whichever fret, 5, right? And you get that A octave. Okay, so the same thing, you can move to the next fret. Okay, 3 and 6. So what is that next octave? So this is what is the note of the A sharp. So it's the A sharp octave. Right? And if we move next, we get, what note is this? is the B octave. Alright, and you can go as far as you want for practice. Alright, so for now, pause the video and just try to play some octaves on the third string. Okay, try to move from the first fret to the second fret to the third fret. And remember, you only use your pointer and your pinky, and these extra fingers, don't hide them behind the guitar like that. Keep it in front like this. Alright, so pause the video, practice for 5 minutes, 3 minutes is okay, and then we'll move on to the next part, which is the song. Okay, so now I've turned on the score. So now you should have been practicing at home the first part of the song, the intro, followed by the verse and the riff. So just to recap, the intro will sound like this. Alright, you can look at the tabs. Okay. And then the verse using the E minor chord. Right, E minor, C sharp, and then we're going to end with the riff. So if you look at just look at the left side of the screen there, okay, bar number 18, right? Alright, and how do we play it? Okay, try to read the tabs. Alright, so remember, how do you read the tabs? It's from the bottom up. So that 2, okay, the 2 means the 6th string 2nd fret, right? Follow, and then followed by the 4 on the 5th string. And then there's a 2 on the 5th string, 4, and then 0. Okay, and then the verse, how many rounds did we do the last time? It was 8 rounds of okay, but today we're going to move to the chorus. So the chorus starts at bar number 36. Okay, bar number 36. So let's just look at the tabs over here. So 4 strums of this chord. And what is this chord? This is the A power chord. Okay, the open A power chord. Okay, the A power chord, and then once we go to the A power chord, we're going to go to this. So this is the new chord. That's why we are learning the octave chord, because we want to use it for this song. Okay, so what is this octave? Okay, so let's just try to find on the guitar 4th string 1st fret and 2nd string 4th fret. Okay, so this octave, if you've been practicing just now, this should be very familiar to you. Okay, so this is the octave. Okay, and then right after that, 4 strums of that, and then we go to 2 and 5. So we're going to move 2 and 5, and then 4 strums of that, and then we're going to go to 4 and 7. So we're just going to remove the shape. It's a movable chord, so we just move it here. Okay, so I'll let go those 2 bars. Let's just have a listen. Okay, A, okay, and just a quick cheat that you can use instead of, for the A chord right at the start, the A power chord, instead of using 2 fingers like this, you can just use 1 finger like that. But make sure you strum the right strings. Okay, so if you play it slowly, it will be 4 strums of A, and then we go to the G sharp octave, followed by the A octave, and then followed by the B octave. Okay. Okay, and then we look at the score again. The next 2 bars is exactly the same. Alright. And this power chord, you can just use the same shape and just strum 2 strings. But if you strum the extra string, it's fine. It'll sound the same. They're both A power chords. So you can just do the same thing as the first part. So this is the same. And then once we go to this bar over here, okay, this is no longer the A power chord. Okay, you see that we're going to use string number 6 and 5. And string number 6 is 0, string number 5 is 2. Okay, so this is actually the E power chord, the open E power chord. So you can just put 1 finger like that, same as for the A, but just move 1 fret up. 1 string up, I mean. Okay, and it's 4 strums of the E chord. And then we go to that same G sharp octave. 4 strums. And then look at the score to the A octave. And then look at the score again. We go to the B octave. Okay. And the next bar, so just move on to the next bar, it's the E chord again. But this time it's different. Which octave is this? This is the B octave. B octave for 4 times, and then look at where it goes next. It goes to the 6 and 9. So on the 4th string, go to the 6th fret. And what is the note on the 6th fret? Try to recall. Scroll back to the earlier part if you need to, or if you just wrote it down somewhere, you can remember this. That'll be good. It is the C sharp octave. It's a C sharp octave 4 times, and then we go to the 1st fret and 4th fret, so that's the G sharp octave. Okay, so that part will be E chord 1, 2, 3, 4. E chord, B, C sharp, G sharp. Okay, so that entire section of the chorus will sound like this. I'm going to play along and just follow. Right, so but maybe that's a bit too fast, so I'm going to let's just look through the score again. So after that, we're going to repeat again A, so I'm just going to go through and just name the chords as I'm going. A5, okay, and then it's the G sharp octave, This is the A octave, A sharp octave, the A again, G sharp octave, A octave, A sharp octave, E, G sharp octave, A octave, A sharp octave, and then this part is exactly the same. E octave, B, here, same one, and then back to the G. And then right at the end of that section, we play the riff, so that same riff from earlier. Okay, but we end the riff with a chord this time instead, the A5 chord. So instead of just a 0 like that, we're gonna play with an extra 2. So it'll sound alright. And the last bit over here. So there's a bend over there, so just follow the notes as they go around. 4th string, 2nd string 4th fret, 2nd string 5th fret, 2nd string 4th fret, and we go to that last note is a 3rd string 4th fret, and then you bend it. Just try to bend as much as you can. Alright. So just up until that part of the song. So okay, let's just play through the entire chorus. Okay, and I'm just going to slow down the tempo. Okay, from 100, let's maybe go down to half, 50 beats per minute. Okay, and I'm going to start. So it starts with, you get ready your A power chord. Alright, so look at the tabs, look at where the square is, that's where we're going to start. Back to the A chord, G sharp octave, A octave, B octave, and we go to the E chord. Back to the E chord, B octave, and then we go back to the A chord again. A chord again, and the E octave. E chord again, B octave, and we go to the riff after that. And we're gonna go there and do. Okay, so just practice that on your own for a while. Okay, I think it will take about it'll take a while for you to get used to this, so spend some time practicing it, maybe 1 or 2 days, and just try to get used to that new octave shape, and just make sure when you're strumming you're not hitting any extra notes. Okay, but for now I'm going to increase the speed and I'm going to play it from the start of the song. And for those of you who can already play at this speed, okay, you can continue on and just try to play, or aim to be able to try to play at this speed. So this is at 70%. So I'm going to start from the intro. Perfect. And give it a chorus. And it's very good. Okay. And one more time now at full speed, or close to full speed at least. And for those of you who want to try at this speed, you can go ahead and try along. Let me just set it up. Okay, so at this speed, let's try. And go to the lip. And do the same thing. Go to the chorus. Okay, so all the best with your practice, and it'll take a little bit of time to get to that speed, but the whole point of this um, lessons is to get you used to the octave chords and to just move from power chords to octave chords. So you don't have to be able to play that fast, but try to produce clear notes as you practice. And as the same thing, um, do a recording of a video of your progress and upload it in the folder accordingly. All right, and we'll resume next week with the next lesson.